This kiln is going out to Portland for Lewis and Clark College. This is a special kiln. It has a lot of options. It has a car that comes in and out, and it has a damper that is programmable. We'll talk about that in a minute or two. I started on this side because I wanted to show where the handle's kept. So this is the handle for the car. While we're here on this side, I want to point out that there's a switch down here behind this bottom hinge. So when the door opens, the power goes off. Okay, you can't fire the kiln with the door open. All right. These are connection boxes for the door elements, of course. And whenever you're firing, please keep all these latches closed. As the kiln heats up, things begin to expand. We don't want this expanding away. Be sure to instruct your students carefully to open the door well past where the car is going to come out. There's nothing keeping this car from running into the door of the kiln when you go to move it. Okay. This has a 3-pole plug. It's a twist lock. You grab and twist as if you're unscrewing something, and it'll come out. You need to plug in the car every time you fire the kiln, or the bottom probably won't keep up with the program. The kiln you'll get an error message. This handle slides on easily, and the car should come out easy enough for loading. As long as the floor is smooth, you can take it wherever you want. Going back in is usually easy. Line it up a little bit, and it should go right in. It's designed with a docking system down here that I think you'll enjoy looking at. Okay. One of the problems about shipping this is that it's too tall. I've made a number of smaller kilns that have this type of venting system on it, and you would not fit in a normal Freightliner truck if we left it. This is Sherry. She helps me do everything. And this is unrehearsed. We're going to put this on. We've had it on, and we've programmed it and stuff. This is to protect. We call it the chimney. On the top of the kiln, there's a little bit of brick that's proud. It's 9 inches by 9 inches. And it comes up about 1/2 inch. It has a 3-inch bore through it. That's a significant size hole. The kiln probably won't get the temperature unless this is closed. This is programmed currently to be normally closed. So what I'm saying is, in the controller, in a ramp and soak program, for each ramp, you'll have to tell it either be open or be closed. And when it says on, it's open. Okay. So I could see where you may want to leave it open for the first 400 or 500 degrees to vent it, and then you'd close it. These are particularly helpful for accelerating the cooling process. Okay, so I'm going to slide this on. You can see it's got a recess in it. This is where the ceramic sits. So this will ship with this up here. Okay. Now for the fun part. How do we do that? Oh, thank you. Okay, now this goes down here, Sherry. What we've learned already is this, to keep the right side on the sheet metal, you'll have to tip the left side up. Okay, we got one bolt started a little bit. Put a couple turns on it. Sherry's gonna lift up down a little bit, Sherry. Okay. I should have gotten a speed bridge. So Liza, I don't know if you can show this little block of wood that's in here. If you can zoom in on that. Liza's the camera woman. She's also my beautiful, beautiful wife. And Liza is a theater director and producer from New York City. So she's probably cringing.
Point out the wood.
Right here, Liza. And this little block of wood is keeping this vent arm from going down. There are 2 screws. Once you get it up in place, it's going to be a little, you can see it was even hard for us. We knew what we're getting into. Once you get it all bolted on, there's 2 little screws here that take the same tip that it'll take to uncrate the kiln that I send with the kiln. Okay. Once that block is out, this will be able to go up and down, okay, on its own. It's counterbalanced accurately, so it takes this little motor very little effort to raise the damper. When it's down and this arm goes up, it lifts this all up, okay? Now, follow me around, Liza. Sherry, can you move the ladder?
Where would you like it?
This is the connection for it. And it will ship with this nut on it. You want to tighten that up with the pliers or so, and then this is a bushing screw on there. Damper connection, black and red. Ground goes into this lug. Okay, so you'll have to make those connections. All right, that's pretty easy because it's right there. Okay, so when the controller says on, it'll open that damper. When the controller de-energizes it in the off position, it'll slowly rotate down. Okay, so one of the things why we're doing this is I'm going to briefly talk about this because this is a 480 volt kiln, and I'll probably give everyone here more information than they want, but you might want to refer back to this. This is the power distribution block, it's called. This is where your electrician's going to connect the power. They'll probably know that. I've labeled it ground, line 1, line 2, line 3. Okay. The main feed for the elements comes down through these 10 gauge wires, and there are 2 zone fuse blocks. And once you break up from a larger wire to a smaller wire, we need to fuse it again. These are special fuses for 480 volt. I doubt if they're available at a hardware store locally, but they're available at Granger's in Portland. Then it goes to the safety relay, they're called. These safety relays only go on one time. When the door is closed and the kiln starts, they close and allow power to go through. Okay, so they're one time. These are solid state relays, so you can see the power is coming. Fuses, safety relays, solid state relays. It's all in a line. This is the top of the door and the top 5 in the wall. Okay. A solid state relay is the one that the controller is going to be saying, go on, go off, go on, go off. It can do that. It can do it up to 60 times a second. I have it doing it much slower. But it's allegedly has 1 million on and off cycles in its life. So these are running the temperature of the kiln up and down. The control loop can't run on 480, but the elements do. And there's black, red, and blue that go to what I call the points of a triangle. In between the lines of a triangle are the elements. So that's called delta configuration, three-phase power. Okay? So these lines feed the elements up here. For the control loop, we have small 480 volt fuses. Once it's fused, it goes through a door panel switch. The power then goes through a transformer down here that makes 240 volts available to me. I bring it back up here and distribute it to the small transformer that runs the controller, the fan, the vent, damper arm, and the safety relays. Okay? So if you can save this somehow, and your technician or electrician in a couple years needs to work on it, this might be good information for you right off the bat. You do want to make sure that this fan is working, and by feeling whether air is coming out these drilled perforations. I left this here to remind me to tell you that within the choices for how that damper works with this Genesis controller, I chose output C for you, and our option C. It says output 4, the damper, can be programmed to be on or off during each segment of a custom program. Output 4 is off if you use one of the pre-selected programs. The problem with the pre-selected programs with this damper is if we choose the one that I typically would use, option A, when you start a built-in program, one of the programs that the controller is loaded with at the factory, the vent is on from the time the kiln goes on until the time the kiln cools off. The reason for that is it's typically only drawing on a small half-inch diameter hole, and it's just capturing the products of combustion from firing clay, carbon monoxide, and whatever's in the clay and glazes. So I had to choose option 4. If you want to change that and try to do some different things, lines are coming around to this side. Below the controller, the Genesis controller, is my name plaque. That's my cell phone. I answer the phone. Okay. I don't need any pen pal style phone calls, but I'm glad to talk to people. I talk to people all the time. Okay, thanks.